Um, so let's touch on the hot button topic here, the politics, right? You got Canada's politicians, or maybe just, I shouldn't say politicians. I have no proof of that. You got the Canadian Armed Forces, you got their panties in a bunch,
Yeah.
like bad. Now, I don't think that was your intent, but maybe you could clear that up. I think you were just telling a story, right?
Yeah.
About how things unfolded for you during the mandate era. Um, for me, it brought up a lot because it was, for me, it was an injustice, man. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm very much tied to the Canadian Armed Forces. It helped me become a man. So like, I have kind of that as like my second father growing up.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was the same for you, but I have a lot connected with the institution. So when I hear a story like yours, and I mentioned it on an episode that I did in response to yours, that it's interesting to see that it doesn't matter that you are one of Canada's top soldiers. You still got treated like you were a child, and I love that fact that you said, "Hey, man, like you selected us to not be bullied." This was like an ultimate selection test. Like, hey, are you going to take this thing? You're going to take this thing? You're like, no, fuck
Yeah.
you. I'm not doing it. Like,
Yeah.
no, I'm not going to get bullied into it. And it made me realize like it didn't matter if you were in the JTF or like in a reserve unit. Everybody was getting treated the same, and that just blew
Yeah.
my mind. So I linked it to what we call, if we want to call it, moral injury. It's a new term that's come out to label things. We always got to label things, but I'm just curious to know, was that the thing that bothered you the most? Was just the institutional letdown? What was it about it that kind of got you riled up, or if anything at all?
Yeah. I mean, to me, I look at it and the government and the unit got very upset, or certain people in the unit. But I was like, the only part that they were upset about was really that portion of the interview, because everything else I'd already posted, like the things that they tried to go after Sean for, like with the cease and desist and like OPSEC and this and that. They gave these stupid reasons. That's why he brought a lawyer on after to talk about it. It didn't make any sense. It was because of the story about how I got like kicked out of Dwyer Hill. But most of it, now there were days where I'm like, this is just so stupid that I would,
Mm-hmm.
I'd get angry. But most of it, like, I'm not angry. I'm not upset about anything. Like, I'm super happy where I'm at right now. And it's not even just a silver lining. It's a blessing that I'm out. And I can't imagine now deploying and not being with my family for 6 months, eight
Yeah.
months, 9 months. Like, it's just,
Yeah.
it's past for me anyway. I almost found it comical. I'm like, that
Interesting.
this was the stance. And I thought when all the crazy mandates and stuff were coming around, I was like, okay, at least our camp, we're not going to lose our minds within this small camp. I'm going to be able to go to work, go train, we're just going to keep after it because we're focused on counterterrorism things.
Mm.
And I was terribly wrong about that. We really lost it. And so I almost found it funny. And I'm kind of a stubborn guy when it comes to what I believe in. And when it was mainly because it was a big charade is why I'm just like, I'm not playing this game. And it's
Mm-hmm.
not even necessarily challenging medical advice is where I think the charade is. If everyone really believed it, I'd be like, like if my grandma really believed, I'd be like, okay, I'll stay 6 feet away. Like, I believe in freedom and I don't need to be near you. But it would be so like hypocritical. It was such a charade. Like, we would be having a conversation, no mask. Oh, so-and-so's coming, so we have to put on our mask. And I was like, I'm not playing this game for 1 second. And I just started getting in trouble. And like, so most of it I look at and I just shake my head and I laugh. And like, I just wonder now, these guys, they look back 2 years, if they're like, oh yeah, I definitely did the right thing. Or if they're like, shit, I really got caught up in something.
It's like that
I
was,
am not happy with what I did.
yeah.
So none of it really is upsetting to me. I had a good career and I appreciate the experiences and a lot of the people I met. And I'm happy that I'm out playing and writing music.
That's very stoic of you. I like that. It's nothing. nothing can be taken away from you, especially when it comes to, well, I say there's a few things that can never be taken away from you. Your education,
Yeah.
and it's an ever appreciating asset, and the way you look at things. So if you maintain those two things at all times, if this was a good experience for you because it ended up being positive in terms of, well, now you get to spend more time with your family, you get to work on your music career. This was just a thing, and it's something that you had to go through, and it happened for you, not to you. And
Yeah.
so, you're clearly not a victim of this
No.
whole charade, which is why I think your message is so important.